the other big talking point, which has been the global metal space. We have seen some pressure over the last one quarter. What's the outlook for FY18? Ravi Uppal now joins us, MD and CEO of Jindal Steel and Power. Mr. Uppal, good morning. Before we discuss business, I just wanted to discuss what's happening at Jindal Steel and Power in terms of fundraising and equity dilution, because you've recently approved raising funds via allocation to promoters. If you could tell us whether there's further equity dilution plan, and if this is a precursor to dilution to some other big player as well, some overseas player.
Well, there's no plan as such for dilution of equity, and I wouldn't like to get into any speculations. We're always looking at the various options which are in interest of our stakeholders to see how the company's loans can be reduced, and we have a favorable debt equity ratio.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Uppal. But you have issued these 4.8 crore warrants to the promoter group on a preferential basis. What will this, when will they be able to exercise and become the warrants and become shares? And what will it take the stake to, the promoter's stake?
Well, that it is a window of about 18 months. After 18 months, the option can be exercised.
So when they convert, what will the stake go to?
I can't tell you offhand right now. I don't have those figures with me. Okay. But the amount of equity which is being offered is obviously stated publicly.
Okay. Mr. Uppal, good morning. Can you tell us a little bit about the sector itself? Because the steel consumption growth in India was hardly 3 to 4% in the last fiscal. What is the expectation as we head into the new one?
Well, the calendar year 2017 has started off very well, I think, for the Indian steel industry. The primary sector in particular has had their production grow between 15 to 17%. And I think on the whole, as an industry, we have grown by about 12% in production. You're quite right in saying that the demand hasn't grown as much as one would like to see. But I think the demand in this last financial year has grown between 3 to 3.5%. But I'm quite optimistic that the year which is just setting in, I think the growth is going to go up because the government has put a huge amount of investment in the infrastructure sector in particular. If you recall that the government has planned to put about 350,000 crores in infrastructure. And we already see signs of that happening now. And I reckon that in this year, if all goes well and the project get executed as planned, we should see that the industry should grow between 5.5 to 6%.
Okay. Well, the interesting part of the steel repertoire is now the increase in coal prices. It's double coking coal from $150 to $300 in April. What is your in-house output now, both including Australia and Mozambique?
Well, you're quite right in saying that there's a huge amount of volatility in the prices of the coking coal. I mean, if you recall that they first went up to a level of $315 in October, November, and then it crashed to a level of about 155, 160. But the last 2 weeks I've seen that the coking coal prices have bounced back to a level of about $315, $320. So this is not only true of coal, even the iron ore is also witnessing, quite a lot of volatility. They had gone up to a price of about $85, $86. Now it's down to $70. So they remain very volatile. But I think this is a kind of new setting in which we have to learn to do business, that the input materials will continue to remain volatile. Much depends on what China intends to do, how much they want to import, and they decide to a very large extent how the raw material prices will move. Answering your second question about how much we produce, we produce about 100,000 tons a month in Australia, and we are currently producing about 150,000 tons a month in Mozambique. We are in the process of ramping the Mozambique production to double the size, which means that we'll go to about 3 million tons a year in Mozambique. And Australia, we should be doing between 1.2 to 1.5 million tons a year.
Okay. So what will all of this do to your EBITDA per ton? Because it has been around this 6,000 or so rupees per ton. there is an expectation that it could improve substantially going ahead. What's your own estimate?
I don't know if you ask me about us or you're asking about the industry.
No,
sir,
about you, sir.
Well, Jonah, I don't think I'm in a position to sort of give you any numbers because we're bound by the rules. And we are soon going to have in the month of April our board meeting towards the end. But I would say that the numbers that we had in Q3, they were not 6,000. If I should correct you, we were at a level of about 8,100 rupees per ton for steel. And it will remain our endeavor to see that we continue to improve on that EBITDA levels.
Okay, so for FY18, your EBITDA could be higher than this Q3 number.
Well, we are working towards it.
Okay. Mr. Uppal, let's talk about the power business now. How's that looking up? Would you see improvement in generation, profitability this year in FY18?
Well, certainly, I think JSPL has done well, in the quarter 3. We have made sure that our operation efficiency helps us to improve our EBITDA. The EBITDA in Q3, is about 35%. We are seeing better generation this year. The summer has started early. The load has picked up for the industry as a whole. The exchange rates have gone better than the same time last year. But it remains to be seen how things pan out in the days and weeks to come.
Okay. What is your conversation with the banks leading to? Are you getting some relief either through a 525 or an S4A? Will your interest outgo in FY18 be any different from that in FY17?
Well, that I think we have managed our debts quite well. We have managed to service all our, dues as well as the interest. So we have serviced our, the interest payments very regularly. I think the company seems to be doing better as in the weeks to come our earnings improve. We will be able to do it even more efficiently. The effort remains, as we mentioned in the past, how to reduce the debt. The first step is to make sure that we don't add any debt.
Okay.
The second is how is it that we can reduce the debt through a gradual process, and that's we are constantly working on.
Give us some numbers, sir. What will the debt look like at the end of FY18? At least a target?
Well, I think we should reduce by about 3,000 crores.
Okay.
About that.
Okay. Mr. Uppal, no plan to revisit IPO for Jindal Power? Because that was a big issue some years back. Now, because the market has also revived, the IPO market you've seen, I'm sure you would have seen the kind of response that the primary market is getting now. Any plans to revive IPO?
No, I think the IPO, there is always a right time for one to go with the IPO. As of this moment, we don't believe this is the right time. I think what we are focused on right now is to improve the operational efficiency of JPL. We still are, running the plant only at 50%. I think this is something that we need to really improve. I just hope that the demand should pick up because our plant is up and ready, is operating very efficiently. We would like to see that we take it up to a level of about 80 to 85% of its capacity. So it has started to do better compared to the previous quarters. It's inching up, and we're quite optimistic that the current financial year we should be able to see a better utilization of the 3,500 megawatt plant.
So what, 1,800 megawatts? What should we expect?
Well, we are running the plant right now at about 1,750 to 2,200 megawatt.
Oh, okay.
So right now the plant is running fine. So let's just hope that it continues. It continues and gets even better than what we are doing right now.